Today, we're diving into OpenAI's latest major announcement, something they're calling Codex.
Software engineering is changing, and by the end of 2025, it's going to look fundamentally different. In 2021, we announced our first model that we called Codex. This was the first time that we've really demonstrated what we would now call vibe coding. Just a couple weeks ago, we released Codex CLI, which is a local agent that runs on your laptop in your own terminal that you're able to pair with and interact with in a synchronous fashion. Today, we're going to take a step towards where we think software engineering is going, and we are releasing a new system, which is a remote software agent that can run many tasks in parallel. We call this system, in the grand tradition of OpenAI naming, Codex. The thing that is exciting about Codex is that it runs with your repository, your environment on OpenAI compute. So you're able to run many, many copies of it. So you're able to do many tasks in parallel, fire them off, come back to them later, which is something that we'll be showing you today.
As Greg Brockman jokingly pointed out, the name continues their tradition of dramatic naming conventions. But this isn't just a minor update. It's being positioned as a major leap forward, potentially reshaping how software engineering will look by the end of 2025. To really grasp what makes this new version of Codex so significant, it helps to look at where it started. OpenAI originally launched Codex in 2021, introducing many people to the idea of vibe coding, where you simply describe what you want and the AI writes the code for you. Then, just a few weeks ago, they released Codex CLI, a local tool that runs directly in your terminal, designed for real-time pair programming with an AI right on your machine. But what they've unveiled now is something entirely new. This latest evolution of Codex is a remote software agent. It doesn't just live on your device, it runs in the cloud on OpenAI's compute infrastructure. And yet, it works closely with your codebase, your repositories, and your dev environment as if it were sitting right next to you. What sets this version apart is its ability to run multiple tasks in parallel. Greg emphasized that you can spin up several agents, give each one a different engineering task, and they'll all work at the same time. This goes far beyond simple autocomplete or one-off code generation. We're now talking about orchestrating entire development workflows that can run asynchronously. You assign tasks, step away, and return later to see the results. That's a huge shift in how we think about AI in software. We're moving from a model where AI helps with isolated tasks to one where AI becomes an ongoing, delegable resource. Think of it like having a team of capable, tireless junior developers you can assign tasks to, developers who work quickly, don't get distracted, and report back with progress or finished solutions. For large projects, or even for clearing out tedious grunt work, this could dramatically boost productivity. Access to this new Codex system is rolling out today for ChatGPT Pro, Enterprise, and Teams users. Access for Plus and EDU users is coming soon. At the core of this new Codex agent is a model called Codex 1, which OpenAI is calling their best coding model to date. It's built on the O3 series models. What's interesting here is that Codex 1 isn't just tuned for benchmarks. It's been optimized to produce code that developers actually want to merge into real projects. That means cleaner commits, useful comments, minimal noise, and code that respects established conventions. That focus on mergeable code is a big deal. A lot of AI models can generate working code, but generating code that integrates smoothly into a human-written codebase that's readable, well-structured, and production-ready, that's a much harder problem. And OpenAI seems laser-focused on solving exactly that, which is essential if AI is going to truly augment real-world software teams. Next came a live demo, led by Thibaut Socio, known as Thibaut, from the Codex team, joined by his teammates Hansen Wang and Joshua Ma. Thibaut started by choosing an open-source repository called Preparedness, which contains some of OpenAI's internal safety evaluations. He made an interesting remark that frontier evals are really about agents, likely hinting at OpenAI's broader strategic direction. As soon as the repo was selected, the Codex interface generated 3 initial tasks: an ask task aimed at explaining the codebase to a newcomer, outlining the structure and key ideas; a code task, which involved locating a key section of the codebase and identifying a bug to fix; another ask task, where the agent would audit the codebase and suggest a list of improvements, like fixing typos, resolving bugs, or improving test coverage. Tibo kicked off all 3 tasks, each handled by a separate Codex agent running in parallel. Right out of the gate, this showcased the system's strength in concurrency. What stood out here was the 3rd task. Instead of simply executing a command, the agent proactively scanned the codebase for issues and proposed tasks. That's a much higher level function, closer to what a human engineer would do when reviewing a project. Tibo then added a 4th task manually. Find as many typos and grammar mistakes as you can and fix them. He deliberately misspelled typos as topos, and the agent still understood and processed the request. That's a great sign for usability, especially since user prompts in the real world are often imperfect. Then we saw the results of a previously completed task, reviewing the codebase for maintainability and bugs. The output was impressive. The agent flagged a number of real issues. It spotted a mutable default argument in Python, something that can lead to bugs, and suggested a fix. It corrected a misspelled variable name. It noticed inconsistent values for a timeout constant used across different modules and proposed unifying them. It caught a potential data loss issue by pointing out that JSON records weren't being flushed to disk. These weren't shallow suggestions. These were real, engineering-grade observations, stuff you'd expect from an experienced dev during a review. The agent clearly understood common pitfalls and best practices based on a fairly high-level prompt. Then came a moment that really highlighted the collaborative potential of the system. Tibo took some of the suggestions and scheduled them for implementation. For the timeout constant, he simply told the agent to make it 120, and it immediately generated and executed the necessary code. This kind of mixed initiative flow, where you can accept, modify, or guide the AI's output, is a glimpse of how this tech could fit into everyday workflows. Finally, we got a look under the hood. Tibo opened one of the active tasks, specifically the one about fixing the mutable default argument. We saw a terminal-style log showing the agent's behind-the-scenes work, setting up runtimes, installing dependencies with pip, configuring the project's build environment, downloading the repo, even spinning up a container. This part of the demo was crucial. It showed that the agent is just manipulating code in the abstract. It's actually working inside a realistic, containerized dev environment. That means it understands dependencies, package managers, build pipelines, the full stack of context that real developers deal with. And all of this happens on OpenAI's infrastructure, yet mirrors the user's own setup. That ability to configure its own environment, pull in dependencies, and run code is what sets this apart from other code assistants. It's not just an advanced autocomplete anymore. It's a true software agent, one that understands code, understands context, and can take action at scale and in parallel. This is a real turning point. We're witnessing the beginning of AI not just writing code, but managing entire software development workflows. What we're seeing with Codex isn't just faster coding, it's the rise of a new kind of digital teammate that's always on, deeply integrated, and capable of handling real engineering workflows at scale. And this is only the beginning. By the end of 2025, software development may look radically different, more collaborative, more automated, and potentially more creative. The line between human and AI contribution is starting to blur, and tools like Codex are accelerating that shift. So what do you think? Will AI agents become an essential part of every dev team? Could this reshape engineering culture completely, or introduce entirely new roles we haven't imagined yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into deep dives on cutting-edge AI tools like this, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss what's next.